Okay, hello. My name is Kilohana Johnson, and this is Human Resources in Restaurants. Human resource management is the process of acquiring, training, appraising, and compensating employees and attending to their labor relations, health, safety, and fairness concerns. That comes directly from our textbook. So specifically, HR in restaurants, they work in a very similar manner to that of traditional businesses. HR in restaurants encompasses managing all aspects of employees, including hiring and onboarding, training and development, performance and management, employer-employee relations, ensuring compliance with labor laws, maintaining workplace safety, and scheduling and payroll. So hiring and onboarding. In traditional businesses, the hiring and onboarding process generally consists of interviews, screenings, and then selection. Although for restaurants, it's same, but it's different as well. Employers will often conduct interviews to get a feel of the person and just see their vibe, but it's not always in the most formal setting. A lot of people in restaurants typically end up attaining jobs through connections or relationships just because it's a very friendly word of mouth type of industry. And so, as I've put, oftentimes employees will end up working at other restaurants simply because one of the servers is their friend, or their manager is their friend, or knows them, or they go way back, or etc. After this initial sort of hiring, informal or formal, there is a onboarding, and then training will begin shortly after that. So training and development in restaurants include both on-site and off-site training, as well as independent development programs as well. On-site training consists of practicing service mechanics. This is usually specific to the restaurant. So if you're a fine dining restaurant, if you're a barbecue style restaurant, whatever the theme and restaurant, whatever your focus is, those are the type of mechanics that you're going to practice for. You're also going to practice situations such as upset guests and rejected bottle of wine, or guests come in and they have last minute allergies that the kitchen was unaware about. So how to handle all these things on the fly is another good way of on-site training. Bartending and wine service as well. Presentation of dishes, so how the chef and the kitchen team wants you to present the dishes, how they want you to articulate it, and how they even want you to set it down, etc. And then wine and beverage classes as well, if it's a restaurant that has a extensive wine and beverage program. And then off-site training consists of visiting a competitor similar in style in a restaurant, taking note of their service and hospitality. If you're a French restaurant, if you work at a French restaurant in town, visit another French restaurant in the same town or nearby, just to see what the competition is like, how they're doing things, and how they differ from your particular establishment. Food and beverage events are always a great way of on-site or off-site training. They're a great way to taste and food and beverages, just products that you're going to be selling, products that you're going to be working with, and just it's a great social and fun way to learn. And then of course working in other restaurants as well as another way of off-site training. Specifically if you're a seasonal employee, or you work in a restaurant that's only open during the summer or the winter, going and working in other restaurants is a great way of obtaining that versatility. So performance management includes providing regular feedback and performance reviews in order to help that individual improve and better themselves. The primary purpose of performance management is to help the individual improve in the most efficient way possible. For an example, if the sommelier of a busy restaurant has the tendency to be too chatty with tables when others need their time as well, you can simply let them know that, hey, they're doing a good job, but more people want a chance to experience their hospitality, and they should spread the love a little bit. This lets them know that they're doing a good job and the business is happy with their performance. However, they will be that much better by making that small change. This is a good way of just giving them positive feedback, but also letting them know there is improvements to be made, but their performance is still well accepted. Managing employee and employer relations is simply about dealing with any sort of concerns and complaints that come about in the restaurant, be it illness, injury, family emergencies, or for pregnancies for women. All of these type of issues and concerns should be handled accordingly, respectfully, and appropriately. Ensuring compliance with labor laws is also another big deal for managing a restaurant. Any business really, but especially managing a restaurant, because you aren't actually able to even open or serve any food without having the proper licenses or following the proper regulations. So thanks to federal laws such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Equal Pay Act of 1963, there is more equal opportunity in the workforce for individuals of any background. And this just allows for any race, ethnicity, age to not be discriminated against when going for or when applying for a job. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 states that it cannot discriminate by any means necessary, and the Equal Pay Act of 1963 states that you have an equal chance to earn equal work for equal pay, essentially regardless of gender or age. And then following, so making sure the restaurant is up to date on labor laws, city and federal regulations, and also safety requirements is a crucial step before guests are even served. Many restaurants that when they're opening, they often run into the hurdle of not having this regulation or not meeting this regulation or not having this license, so it continues to delay their opening process. I currently reside in the state of Oregon, and so many labor laws have been set in place to benefit the lives of employees. Pretty standard in terms of the laws that employers must adhere to, such as minimum wage. I believe our minimum wage statewide is $14.70. Overtime, pretty much the same as anywhere else. As if you work over 40 hours in that given work week, you are subject to overtime. Regular paychecks, equal pay, break periods, meal periods, and then of course scheduling notices as well. And then other than your standard business license, certificate of occupancy, food service license, food and health permit, and your employee health permit, 2 more licenses are required in order to open and serve food and alcohol in a restaurant in Oregon, which is your OLCC, your license from the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission, as well as your ODA license from the Oregon Department of Agriculture. Workplace safety, like in any business, you want to make sure that your employees are taken care of and they're working in a safe environment. Especially in restaurants, being that they're very chaotic environments, especially when busy. Many things in the restaurant and a kitchen specifically are heavy, hot, electrical, sharp, or expensive. So it is important to take precaution by using labels, keeping regular maintenance, and meeting the standards set by the NSF International. Different ways management can ensure workplace safety is certain equipment should have wheels for ease of cleaning and proper maintenance. Heavy stationery such as gas ranges, cabinets should be mounted and raised on masonry, tile, or a metal platform. Quarry tile or epoxy-coated concrete floors should be used. These are statistically 2 of the best. They're resistant to damage, and they are also non-slip, and they are just some of the most efficient floors for working in kitchens. And then, of course, preventative maintenance is always a surefire way to ensure workplace safety and making sure the equipment is safe and proper. And then finally, scheduling and payroll. As any business, making sure that employees are being paid their proper wages, taxes are being met, and then of course they are well aware of their benefit programs such as healthcare, dental, and retirement plans. This is pretty standard. However, as well, making sure that they're paying attention to scheduling, as many restaurants have very long and sort of cycling hours as well. So making sure that you have the proper staffing to meet the restaurant needs, whether it's a slow night, busy night, there's a large party in, etc. Employee availability as well. So of course making sure of knowing, when employees can work and not work, who's available and unavailable, and then any sort of residuals, pregnant employees, injured employees, employees with illnesses, that kind of thing. Peak hours as well, so being able to project and forecast for when the restaurant is going to be the most busy, and so having the proper staff for that. And then of course aiming for efficient and cost-effective operations is always the name of the game when scheduling and doing payroll. Thanks so much.